Having the conversation is important. It's the 5th vital assessment. So nutrition should be part of every visit, almost every time. Have that conversation about nutrition. It doesn't have to be detailed. I treat diet like it's a drug, because oftentimes we're using it to modify and manage diseases. So we need to have a kind of a specific specific recommendation that goes with it. And most veterinarians feel like they weren't trained in that as students, but even if you didn't have a nutritionist, you took physiology classes, you took biochemistry classes, you took medicine classes, those all have nutrition as their core. And so they actually, I would say, if most veterinarians, if they thought about it, they actually did get quite a bit of nutrition. Maybe not as much as they'd like to have had. There's a lot of CE opportunities, and I think it's growing every year, but they actually do have more nutrition, especially more nutrition than the pet store clerk. So I think it's important to have an expectation for your clients to expect to be asked questions about diet and nutrition, because what they're feeding their dog or cat can have a direct impact on disease management or your differential list. If the veterinarian feels like they don't have enough time in the appointment, they're just in to do the exam and go, well then that's where your nurses and your support staff can help. So there's a one-page, maybe you put together a one-page handout. If I go to my own medical doctor's office, I usually, if it's my annual exam, there's a form that I fill out. Any changes in medications, any health changes, any concerns, and I'm filling that out while I'm waiting for the doctor. So we could do that easily do that in veterinary medicine. And the WSAVA, the World Small Animal Veterinary Association guidelines, on their toolkit, there's actually a long and a short diet history form. So you can have something like that. You can have a one-page handout that your receptionist hands to the client while they're waiting, even if it's just a general question. What are you feeding? Oftentimes owners, if they're on the spot, most of them don't remember the exact brand. It's in the bag, it's about this big and it's purple or whatever. Then usually they remember the color and where they bought it, which even if they only know that, it tells you, okay, if it's a dry food, there's some generalities with dry commercial foods that you can expect that profile to have. If it's a canned food, it may have a different nutritional profile. And if it's a raw diet or a frozen raw or freeze-dried raw, that gives you a whole other profile. So even if you don't know the specific kind of brand and composition, at least helps you narrow down what it could be. The other benefit to asking diet history of every single patient every single time they go in, should be part of the history and background, but then you'll also get to know what diets are available in your area. So if you don't have the chance or opportunity to go to the pet store to see what's on the shelves, you'll get a pretty good list from your clients on what's being fed and how are those animals, how do they look, how do they feel, any weird anomalies on blood work that you're seeing with this particular line. You'll start to build your own database of what's good and what's less optimal for that individual.